All right, welcome back everybody to another Zero Waste Week video where I'm joined by my good buddy, Sam from Discarded.
Hey, hey.
Welcome along. And today we're gonna be doing something really exciting. So this morning we started with nothing, like we have in front of us. We didn't know what we were gonna find, what we were gonna make, and we headed out on a little bit of an adventure. So first of all, we did some countryside foraging, found some ingredients I didn't even know were there, despite being in plain sight.
Lots of learning.
Very cool. Then we headed to the coast, found some really delicious kind of saline ingredients, really new flavors that are interesting to explore. And then third of all, we did some urban foraging.
My favorite kind of foraging.
It is great. We're gonna bring it all back here, make some delicious drinks, sharing some of our favorite ingredients. But more importantly, this isn't about the drinks as such, it's about inspiring you to find what's around you, use some kind of zero waste techniques to make delicious things, and be inspired to make delicious drinks. So without further ado, shall we head to our first bit of the adventure?
The countryside.
In the country. So we started our adventure in the countryside, and I think the thing we were both most excited about were these. Would you agree?
100%.
So these are fuchsia berries, which I didn't even know existed. So where we are, fuchsia bushes are pretty abundant. You find them in hedgerows, you find them in gardens, and these little berries are kind of hidden away between the flower and the stem. So they're not on all fuchsia bushes. I think there's a particular time of year when you find them, but they just have a real nice pop of flavor, kind of berry-like, I'd say.
There's tart, they're juicy.
Nice color.
Incredibly rich and vibrant in color, like little mini aubergines.
They do look like mini aubergines. And neither of us knew these existed. It was actually Mick from Portmanster Beach Cafe, Mick Smith, who showed us around, gave us some really good tips when it comes to foraging. So massive shout out to Mick as a big thank you for sharing so much knowledge. I think we both learned a lot along the way.
So much, thank you, Mick.
I definitely did.
When is the optimum time for foraging in the UK?
I really enjoy spring and autumn. Usually this time of the year you see a lot of the vegetation sort of die back. It's sort of like starting to get a bit hot for it. Then in autumn it all changes again, so you see a whole new cycle, which I find quite exciting. But spring everything just goes whoa.
These fuchsia berries are going to go in there. We're actually going to be stick blending this drink to avoid shaking it with ice. A really efficient way to get the texture we're looking for.
Important to note, if you haven't got fuchsia growing there, you can use any berries you've got. There's so many different berries that grow wild in the UK and other countries, all bursting with flavor. So yeah, we're using fuchsia, but you don't need to.
Elderberries.
Elderberries, blackberries.
Make sure they're in season, make sure they're ripe. If you eat a blackberry which is underripe, it can be a little tart, as I learned yesterday.
We had one yesterday and it was a little bit tart.
It was good fun though.
Okay,
full of flavor.
I'm gonna muddle these. What have we got next?
Cool. So next up, we've got Discarded Grapeskin Vodka, which we've infused with citrus zests. The citrus zest came from Ugly Butterfly. Big shout out to Chris for sharing these with us. They're left over from the pastry section, infused into the vodka. And do you want to talk about the vodka?
Yeah, so Discarded Grapeskin Vodka. As you know, Zero Waste Week, we're Discarded. Our whole thing is creatively reusing waste products. This is a vodka made from the waste of the wine industry. So it's made from grape skins. It's also a fantastic flavor base to infuse stuff into. See, these citrus peels, you can see from this gorgeous color, absolutely full of flavor.
And they were only in there for a day.
Not even.
Crazy
12 hours.
That's come on, yeah.
Crazy, yeah. And, smells delicious.
A lot of flavor. So Sam's going to go in with 50 mils of this. And as I said before, this isn't about the recipes as such, although these drinks are delicious. It's more about inspiring you to do things with the things you find. So you don't just have to infuse citrus peels. You could do individual citrus, so grapefruit, lemon, orange, lime, whatever. But you can also infuse other things, which we'll talk about in a second. Anywhere from a 1:3 ratio of ingredient to spirit, up to a 1:10, depending on how much flavor you find in that base ingredient.
Excellent advice.
Thank you, sir. So we're going to bring some more kind of interesting berry-like flavors to the drink, and we're going to go with Cascara Vermouth into our kind of Fuscia Sour. So Cascara Vermouth, tell me, friend.
So Cascara, as you may know if you watched our channel, Cascara is the waste cherry fruit of the coffee berry. So again, we're keeping the theme of unusual berries. It has this really unique flavor profile. It's like damsons, plums, cherries, really, really lovely. And we turn it into a sweet vermouth that kind of tastes like liquid Christmas cake. Very tasty. Yeah, it's got that sherry note, it's got this dried fruit. It's really gonna work well with the tart freshness of the fuchsia berries.
The other thing to mention is the fuchsia berries have a little bit of that florality. So tartness, really nice kind of berry-like flavor, but that's gonna complement it really nicely.
This is gonna taste really good.
Going in with 15 mil. And then next up, we're gonna add some acidity to the drink. So if you watched our cocktail hacks video, which I'll link at the end, so you've got lots more information on how to use these techniques, we're going with a mixed citrus cordial. So this is made from citrus peels combined with sugar and acid, a little bit of water just to bring it into a kind of cordial consistency, and 25 ml of that is gonna bring both acidity and sweetness to our drink. Sour base, we want that really nice kind of foamy texture. Sweetness, acidity, delicious kind of berry-like flavors from the Fuscia.
I am a huge fan of cordials as being a really simple way to kind of reuse any fruit and vegetable waste you have. Skins, peels, equal parts, your fruit waste, your sugar, 10% citric acid, leave it overnight, water, strain it off. You get this rich, vibrant, fruity cordial that is a fantastic way to add acidity and sweetness to your drinks without using fresh citrus juice.
And then the other thing to mention is all these ingredients should be kept in the fridge, so they're nice and cold, or the freezer if you can do. And then finally, for the texture, we've got two things which are one and the same essentially. Aqua Faba is the water from a can of chickpeas, and then we've also got the chickpeas themselves, which we're gonna serve with the drink in a second. So 15 mils of the Aqua Faba will bring that really nice kind of foamy texture. If you watch my Essential Cocktails course, you see I use this a lot. It's a vegan alternative to egg white, and I'm a big fan of this.
Aqua Faba is an all-around fantastic substitute. You can use it in cooking, you can use it in baking. Vegan friendly is always good, and it saves us having to use just the egg white and throw away the yolk.
Exactly. It does have a slight flavor, so if you're adding quite a lot of it, you might want to add some kind of citrus zest to the drink just to kind of mask any kind of chickpea flavors. But when it's 15 mils in big flavors like this, I don't think we need to do that. Nice. We're gonna get that nice Fuscia flavor, and what we're gonna do is stick blend this bad boy.
So this is one of my favorite ways to make a cocktail. It's very, very easy, particularly if you're entertaining your friends. Get all your drink, batch it together, get a big load. Everyone's got one of these in the back of the cupboard. We're just gonna blend it rather than shaking it, and that's gonna whip everything up and give us this lovely creamy texture. Then we're gonna pour it over ice.
Exactly.
All we're gonna do, you can see instantly foams up. Gonna just add a little bit. Oh, turbo.
Turbo.
Why, thank you, sir. And
allow me.
Teamwork.
Exactly.
It's gonna fine strain this over here. Oh, I mean, look at that color.
That texture's insane.
Oh.
Looks peachy colored. The Aqua Faba 15 mils has definitely worked. You actually don't need to add a huge amount of it. I think 15 mils is plenty here. Foamy. I'm excited to drink this.
Gonna get this lovely cascade as that foam separates. And I think
we need a little garnish here, mate.
I think we do. As I said, the Fuscia flower is stunning, it's gorgeous, and it's totally edible.
I didn't even know that.
Nor did I.
I just used to pop them as a kid.
It's gonna lay one, maybe two. Yeah, nice.
Maybe three. They're delicious.
They are.
That's the one, isn't it?
It's a beauty there. So here we have our foraged Fuscia Sour.
It's a mouthful.
After you.
Give this kind of thing a try. As Sam said, it doesn't have to be Fuscia, it can be berries, it can be whatever you find on your walk. But that format, sweet and sour, foamy, it's gonna be delicious. So everybody, cheers. So as my guest, do you want to take first sips?
100%.
Go for it. And forgot to mention, these chickpeas we've seasoned, added a little bit of oil, a little bit of lemon zest, air fried, and these are a perfect little bar snack. So using the chickpea, using the Aqua Faba, should complement each other nicely.
That saltiness is gonna, I can smell
crispy.
all the berries from the cascara, the Fuscia coming off that.
Decent texture.
that is great. Oh, that's really good.
And try it.
Please. And there's the sweetness from the cascara, the tartness from the Fuscia, this complex overlay of the peels and the vodka and also the citrus cordial. The texture is stunning.
That's got bramble vibes.
It does.
But florality, loads of nice kind of citrus pithiness. That's really good.
I mean, these are addictive. I could eat these all day.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that.
I'm just gonna eat this flower.
You eat that flower.
We're
gonna move on to the next section where we did our coastal forage. Hold in your hand. That's some delicious stuff. So, on to the next section. So down here in Cornwall, we're very lucky that just by the countryside is also the coast. They can be really close to each other. So Mick took us down the coast path onto the beach and we found some real goodies. Am I right?
I have never really done coastal foraging before, so everything was a learning experience. And the flavors, unbelievable.
Your face at times is fantastic. I was like mind blown.
Seaweed, you can eat it. The flavors are absolutely incredible. Mushroom, truffle, umami, and so much more.
So good, right? Bit of miso-y kind of flavour in there,
is.
super brothy.
I reckon
This could be a secret weapon.
turn it into a kind of infused salt extraction, like a salt oleo, whatever we're calling those these days.
Solio. Speaking of which, shall we drink some seaweed?
I think so.
Talk to me about this.
Just got a grapeskin vodka, you guys already know how we do. What we did here is we infused it with some seaweed. Now we had two different types of seaweed. We had what's called sugar kelp, can also be used as a kombu supplement, so making those rich umami broths like dashi. We also used some garden variety seaweed. It has a fancy Latin name, but that's not important.
Garden variety.
Garden variety.
A lot of seaweed
It was
in the garden.
it was everywhere.
Ocean variety.
Ocean variety seaweed. We infused this in a ratio of 10:1. The key point here is any of the edible seaweeds that have flavor would work really, really well for this drink. And they bring, I mean, I'm instantly transported back to those rock pools.
Well, we're going martini style, and I think the problem with this martini is it's going to be so like mouth-watering and umami and kind of moorish. It's not going to last very long. So Sam's going to go in with 60 mils of our seaweed-infused vodka. All that umami flavour is going to really come through, but it also takes on this real nice colour. The
colour is
and again, 12 hours, maybe 16 hours. It wasn't in there very long, but it's really kind of worked its magic. So as we said before, infusions, really powerful tool. If you watch our cocktail hack video at the end, you'll see lots of other examples of infusions. This really carries flavour nicely. It's a beautiful base. So 60 mils of that, and then we have this salted cucumber cordial, which is very curious.
It's very Hendrix. The curious
It is,
salted cucumber cordial. Tell us a bit more about this, Dan, while I just sit here and enjoy it.
So this is essentially made from leftover cucumbers. When we visited Ugly Butterfly, Chris, again, legend for sharing this all with us, allowed us to use some of his leftover cucumber kind of bases. So what they do is they use like a melon baller, scoop out cucumber balls for their desserts. You're left with the leftover kind of balled cucumber. Weird word.
A very sad, slightly scooped out cucumber.
It didn't look great, but it tastes perfect. So all those leftovers we infused into sugar. Again, added some acid, added some salt. Get this really nice kind of salty, sweet, sour cordial. And rather than a vermouth, this is going to tick a lot of boxes in our martini style drink. So 60 mils, 10 mils, and we're just going to stir this down with lots of ice. The second thing we're going to talk about here is another technique you can use with all kind of herbs. Also kind of seaweeds will work really nicely, which is making a herb oil. So once again, this is a really easy ingredient you can make at home. Something I recommend doing is a real nice kind of delicate garnish, which just has little pops of flavor and texture. Herb oil, we used mustard flowers, which are amazing. Just tastes like wasabi, mustard, really kind of hot, but not like spicy hot, that kind of cool heat of wasabi.
It's like horseradish kind of vibes, little horseradish flowers, amazing flavor.
Exactly, and with the cucumber, this is gonna be really nice. Blend up your stalks, blend up your herbs. We've got some coriander in there as well. What else was in there?
Mint stems from Ugly
Mint
Butterfly.
stems, yeah.
And some sorrel that we foraged.
I could see that working really well with gin and stuff. We played around with it quite a bit. It's like green apples.
Everything we found, we stuck into the blender. 1 part herb by weight to 3 parts oil. Blitz it all together, pass it through an appropriate size sieve.
The good thing to remember at this, to keep
Yes.
that green, vibrant color, you want to take all of your herbs, all of your stems, everything, and you want to blanch them for 30 seconds. Blanching is where you take it, you put it in hot water, and then you immediately cool it. What this does is it deactivates the enzymes that cause fresh herbs to go brown very, very quickly. You can see we've got this gorgeous green color. A couple of drops of that on top of the martini is going to be world class.
Love it. How you getting on? All good?
That is good.
Right, so this drink needs to be super duper cold.
Yeah,
which is why we've got a frozen glass.
Stirred it for dilution, stirred it to get it really, really chill. We've got a frozen glass, and before it goes in there, we're going to add our secret ingredient.
Oh yeah, talk to me about this.
So this is something that's called pepper dulce. It's a special seaweed, should only be harvested around full moon, and it's known as the truffle of the sea. And oh my God, it's like truffle, it's like caviar, it's like garlic, it's like mushrooms. It blew my mind.
And, important lesson here, This is still super delicious, but actually a lot of the things we found don't last super long. So I think if you're gonna use things, they're incredible when you first forage them, eat them. Some things do keep, some things don't. Keeping this in a little bit of salt water really helps kind of maintain that flavor. But even over a couple of hours, you lose a little bit of that vibrancy. So in the base of the drink, this is gonna bring real nice flavor, really nice texture as well. So looks pretty cool, tastes fantastic.
I cannot wait to eat this at the
If
end.
you could drink this drink on the rocks, foraging this, immediately fresh, it'd be one of the best experiences of your life, I reckon.
So are we ready for it?
I'm ready.
Are we ready?
You ready?
Oh.
So that looks, oh, look at that. It's like a flowering tea. And then quickly, because we want to drink this quickly, we're going to go in with 3 drops of our herb oil. There's one. There's another. There's a third. And that looks like a little aquarium of deliciousness. And there we have the foraged seaweed martini. What a cool drink. So while Sam gives us a taste, a few things to note here. We don't expect you to go out and find pepper dulce, different kinds of seaweed, different kinds of herbs that are kind of niche. The idea is you can infuse things, you can make herb oils, you can make cordials, and you can make delicious drinks.
Oh,
I hope.
honestly, it's like I'm drinking the essence of a rock pool,
Licking a rock.
but boozy and clean. And I just want a little bit of that oil. It's gonna come back.
It looks amazing. It looks like a flowering tea, which is really cool.
That is very clever.
I'm keen to try this.
Yeah. The body and the cleanness of the seaweed and the vodka when it's really chilled comes to life, but that little salty sweetness, little cucumber funk comes through and really brings the whole thing together. And when you get a little bit of that oil on your tongue, it's vibrant, it's green. This is something really delicious. And again,
I think that's one of the best martinis I've ever had. No joke.
as sea influenced martinis go, this is absolutely excellent.
It's the best seaweed martini you've had all week. It's really good. You need the sweetness from the cordial. You get the saltiness, you get the real nice kind of umami. This is going pretty quickly, like I said.
Yeah, actually, that is, we are drinking that.
So let's hold on to this. That's a banger. Experiment with different things you find. Be creative. I would have never thought to have made this drink the day before yesterday, but I'm very, very happy we have. So there's the seaweed martini. We've done some coastal foraging, we've done some countryside foraging, and now we're gonna do some urban foraging.
My favorite kind.
It's very cool. So last up, we're gonna talk about urban foraging. This is your kind of thing. Do you want to talk about it?
We love urban foraging at Discarded. So we're not talking dumpster diving, we are talking reclaiming the waste from your community. So going into cafes, getting their used coffee grounds, getting their used pastries. Juice bars are fantastic. They throw away bin bags and bin bags of fruit pulp that you can use in cordials and infusions. Restaurants have really interesting and unusual food waste. All of these things you can urban forage and use as ingredients, like what we did over here.
Yeah, we did. So we headed to Yalla Coffee in St Ives. Incredible coffee shop, incredible views out the window, one of the best coffee shop views in the world. Along with Portsmouster and Ugly Butterfly, in fairness, you can see the bay, it's beautiful, and we picked up some of their espresso pucks. So we infused these into discarded banana peel rum, which Sam can talk about.
I mean, it is rum made with banana peel, it's Caribbean rum base, it tastes like liquid banana bread, and it's absolutely delicious.
Tastes as good as it sounds.
It tastes even better than it sounds. We just infused it 12 hours with some used coffee pucks, and it's subtle, but it's gonna add a really lovely depth of coffee, stickiness, sweetness from the Caribbean rum, and just a little bit of banoffee vibes. Be delicious.
So all the recipes we'll put in the description below because there's a lot of information to take in here. Quite specific to these drinks, but again, these can be quite broad. So this was 1 part of your espresso pucks, 3 parts of your rum, in a jar, shake it up, leave it overnight and then strain it. This is delicious before the coffee, delicious after the coffee. And then we have this one, which is our berry infused Campari.
Yeah, so we love Campari because it is a fantastic flavor base for infusions. Honestly, any fruit waste you can think of adds really subtle layers of complexity. So what we've got here is we've got some strawberry tops and some wonky raspberries. From our friends over at Ugly Butterfly, thank you so much, Chris. We've left them in the Campari overnight, strained them off, and Campari's got a lot going on, but this has added this really subtle fruity layer.
Yeah, so you got the bittersweet notes of the Campari, the strawberries just kind of round it out, the raspberry, again, really kind of tart and delicious. Really nice combination. And what I should have said at the beginning is this drink is loosely inspired by Junglebird, which is one of my favorite cocktails in the world. You a fan?
I work for Banana Rum brand, of course I like the Junglebird.
True, yeah, this is true. So if you want to learn how to make an original Junglebird, I'll link it above, as well as a white Junglebird, which did I create?
The jury's out, but I think
I don't know.
have.
I actually don't know if I created it, but it's delicious either way. Doesn't really matter. And then for our sweet and sour element, again, citrus cordial, using leftover citrus peels, sugar, acid, a little bit of water, sweet, sour, really delicious, ties into our Junglebird theme. And then the final ingredient, which I'm really excited about, which isn't the final ingredient, but last liquid ingredient, is our crochat.
Crochat, waste pastry orgeat. So we went over to the Wastry orgeat. The puns are endless in Zero Waste Week. We went over to our friends at Yalla Coffee and they had some leftover bread and butter pudding that was made out of stale croissant and sourdough offcuts. A little bit of chocolate croissant in there, a little bit of almond croissant, and some kind of sourdough corners. Really unique, interesting ingredient, and we wanted to do something really different with it. What do we do, Dan?
So equal parts of your pastry, equal part sugar, equal part water, and equal part oat milk. Warmed in a pan just to kind of melt the sugar, infuse that really nice kind of bready, chocolatey flavor into a blender, blitz it up, pass it through a sieve, which takes a very long time. I'm going to warn you now.
Definitely an overnight straining job.
Probably more. So this is what we've got overnight, which is plenty, and we've gone in with 15 mils of this. So 45 of your coffee rum, 15 of your strawberry top Campari or your fruit Campari, 15 of your lime cordial or citrus cordial, and then 15 mil of our pastry orgeat.
Pastry orgeat, I think
And then
this is
the last thing we're going to do, which I've never done before, you've never done before.
This is a first. So we've been
work.
filming a lot of amazing videos for you, Zero Waste Week.
I'm trying.
Link them out. One of the things we did is we made a pineapple cordial using pineapple skins. And we were left with all these pineapple chunks. Fantastic for your smoothie, at breakfast, your fruit salad. What we're going to do is we've got some frozen pineapple chunks here. We're going to use these in place of ice. That's going to give us that pineapple element you traditionally find in a Junglebird, a little bit of texture, and then we're going to eat them afterwards because they're going to taste delicious.
Yeah, a bit hard at the moment. These have been frozen, so they're rock solid. So these won't really give dilution. They might give off a little bit of kind of pineapple-y juicy flavor. But again, zero waste isn't about being perfect. We couldn't eat this much pineapple, so it's in the freezer, keeps forever. Can you eat that? Is that a hard eat? It's still pretty hard. And actually it's more about using the whole thing. So if we just made the pineapple peel syrup or saccharum, we'd have had these cores left over. This is the bit of the pineapple you usually eat. In here, I think it's gonna do a really good job. So should we give this a hard shake?
That's amazing. We're gonna shake it real hard.
Whip it all up.
Like you mean it. If you're not pulling a stupid face, you're not doing it right.
It's alarmingly quiet, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of like a...
Maybe this is a great tip if you work in a quiet cocktail bar. So another little hot tip is if you're serving a drink which has kind of cloudy ingredients, which might not be beautiful, you can serve them in a porcelain mug. This is what we're doing here. Loads of ice in there, get it really nice and cold. And I think we're gonna fine strain out our pineapple pulp.
I think we are. I'm curious to see how this is gonna work.
Very well, I reckon. It's in liquid form, which is a good start. So classic Junglebird, dark rum, Campari, lime, sugar, pineapple juice. We've taken that here, created something inspired by the pastry, kind of like an orgeat syrup, bit of the rum, a little bit of coffee flavor, fruity Campari, sweetness and acidity. And then to garnish, we're gonna go with a little bit of dried pineapple. Again, really good way to use the whole fruit, and it just adds a little nice visual aesthetic to our drink. So keep hold of the pineapple in here. That actually looks really delicious. You can see it on the camera. And then to garnish, we're gonna go with dried pineapple. You gonna have some?
I'm gonna have a little sip of this first, and then I'm gonna wash it down with my shaken booze-infused pineapple.
Love it. So this is the discarded coffee pastry Junglebird.
And it smells amazing. Oh, that's great.
You a fan?
That's really good. You've got that like classic Junglebird structure. I'm getting a lot more of that fruitiness from the berries that we put into the Campari. The pastry orgeat comes through texturally really well. And then the whole thing has this very subtle coffee finish from the banana peel rum infused with the coffee grounds.
Strawberries and chocolate are a pretty classic combination.
That is great.
I'm a big fan of both. The acidity is just really nicely balanced. Pastry. It feels like a very balanced dessert. Very luxurious.
I think
very delicious.
It's going to be amazing. Wash down with that.
Amazing. What's going on? So we've explored the land, we've explored the coast, we've explored the urban environment, doing some foraging, taking on some kind of really interesting zero waste approaches, things that really I hope you can use at home and kind of inspire you to make your own drinks. Maybe not exactly these, but your own interpretations of infusions, cordials, syrups, orgeat type ingredients with leftover ingredients. There's a lot going on in here. I've had a good time. I've learnt a lot for sure. So thank you for being here. You're a legend.
Thank you so much for having us.
Any parting words?
Thank you to all our friends who helped us with this. We've got the guys from Portsmouth Cafe, the guys from Ugly Butterfly, the guys from Yalla. You're all wonderful humans. Lastly, obviously, I'm Sam. We're from Discarded. You've sent a bunch of us for Zero Waste Week. Our whole thing is we want to inspire the world to get creative with waste, and hopefully this video has done that. Shameless plug, please give us a follow at Discarded Spirits. Details below in the description.
Below.
And obviously, Dan Fellows, legend, thank you.
Thanks for being here. Thanks to you guys for watching. If you want to learn more about all these techniques, I'll put some videos for you to watch here and here, which are our zero waste coffee hacks and cocktail hacks. When they drop, they'll be here. You can subscribe to the channel by clicking just here between our faces. And once again, thanks to Discarded, thanks to this guy, legend. Thanks for watching. See you soon.
Yeah. It's like typical with foraging. Once you've seen something, it's almost like the Terminator. You go, that's where, you know, just they stand out to you.